Bananas, it's Vanessa and welcome back to the channel. As of this week, I am 22 weeks. Here's the bump. Look at the bump. Getting bigger, so good. So for today's video, this is more of a chit chat video, and it's something that I do want to inform and tell people about. I noticed some people are starting to open up about more, but it is actually the story about miscarriages. As you all know, I'm currently 22 weeks pregnant. Baby's good, mom-to-be's good, we're all good. But actually this isn't my first pregnancy. This is technically my second pregnancy. So I wanted to let you all know and do a little story time about my first pregnancy. That way I can inform all of you of what I experienced. I hope that this is informative for anyone that maybe might have gone through a miscarriage, or just like an informative video. It's not to scare anyone or anything. I just want to let people know about it and spread awareness about it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, let's get into the video. So I first actually got pregnant. You know the video where I had my bridesmaid photo shoot? So that was in August of last year. Well, I didn't know then. The dress was a little bit tight. I was actually pregnant. I did not know I was pregnant. I found out a couple days after, and that was the first positive pregnancy test I ever gotten. So I have some video clips of it. I saved them, and I'll probably show them here just to show the excitement of finding my first positive pregnancy test. So Mitch gets like all these parts from this place called Rock Auto. So there's a box downstairs, actually, an empty box. So I put the onesie that one of Mitch's friends gave us, like for our wedding, and the positive pregnancy test. But I'm gonna tape the pregnancy test to the box so that way if he tries to shake it around. I don't know, came at like 2.
You're a liar. What is it?
Nothing, I didn't. You got a package at the door. I don't know.
What is it, Bomb Bomb?
I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know. Did you order a wire or something? I don't know.
Somebody, it weighs nothing, Bomb Bomb. And someone opened it and taped it back, Bomb Bomb.
I don't know. Open it. I don't know what it is.
What's in there, Bomb Bomb?
No, open it.
You taped this up right now.
I didn't tape anything up.
Oh, and you're videotaping. Oh, Hachi. What did that? What? Were you pregnant? Oh my God. What do you mean? What are you doing? How?
Anyway, oh, guess what I found out this morning?
Oh my God, what?
I'm pregnant.
You're pregnant.
Yeah, I'm pregnant.
Holy shit! Oh my God! What? Where'd it come from?
So today is the day after I found out I had a chemical pregnancy, and a chemical pregnancy is basically an early miscarriage. So the baby hasn't really formed yet or anything. It was still like the size of like a poppy seed / orange seed when you compare it. But yeah, yesterday was my 5-week mark. Yeah, so that happened yesterday. So as you saw from those clips, it's when I showed Mitch that I was pregnant. I did like a really cute way of showing him, as you saw. I even told like some of my friends right away. Yeah, it was really exciting. And I know like you're supposed to wait 3 months until like you kind of start really telling people that you're pregnant, because you know the first 3 months is when miscarriage most likely happens. So you know, you have to be wary of who you tell. Just in case something happens, whatever. But of course, it was my first pregnancy test, and honestly, as a first-time mom, you would think it's not gonna happen to me. I was like 4 weeks, just over 4 weeks pregnant at that time when I found out. And then a couple days later, I had some spotting happening. So for those of you that don't know, spotting is like when you go to the bathroom and when you wipe, there's like a pinkish red color. Now, spotting is very normal. It's usually like a pretty normal thing. It could be implantation bleeding. It could be because you're getting a lot of blood flow, more blood flowing because, you know, pregnancy hormones, all that kind of stuff. There's lots of reasons for spotting. So you shouldn't be alarmed. The only time when you start to get alarmed is if it gets darker, like a dark red, like a period, and if you get any cramping. So the day that the spotting happened, obviously freaked out. Called one of my friends I called one of my friends Judith, she's mom of 4, so she knows. She was like, okay, yeah, don't worry, just monitor it, blah, 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 whatever. Throughout the day, actually, it got heavier, it got red. Then Judith actually suggested I go to the hospital, which I did. I called my boss, let her know, and I guess I had to tell her, well, I didn't tell you, but I'm pregnant, but I need to go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, she was like understanding. Thank God I have a female boss. Imagine telling a male boss that. It's kind of weird, but hey, if you need to tell your male boss, just tell him. Anyway, went to the hospital. Because I was still early, I was not even 5 weeks yet, or I was almost at 5 weeks pregnant. They did a blood test, and that's how they check with pregnancy. So I was a little bit confused when I went to the hospital, to be honest. It was a really confusing time. I had a male doctor come to me, and he was just like, yeah, so... are you, like, he kind of basically asked me, like, are you sure you're pregnant? And I'm like, yeah. This is when I knew. I was constipated, and, like, I had pressure on my lower back. It was so weird. Like, the symptoms, it was just weird. And I also had really sore boobs. Like, that if I turned, it felt like boulders, like, in my boobs. Like, it was, yeah. I was sure I was pregnant. So anyway, but I didn't tell him that. I was just like, yeah, no, I'm pregnant. I took like 2 tests and it was positive. And he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, the reason I'm saying that is because you're, in your blood, it's like a border that you're pregnant. Like, it's just higher than what it should be right now because you're still really early, blah, blah, blah. And when we were waiting for the doctor, I actually had the most painful cramps ever. Like, I was sweating, because it felt like literally something was like stabbing my stomach, and I kept having to go to the bathroom. Like, I thought I needed to like go and do number 2, whatever. Like, it was just not happening. So I'm like, when I was at the hospital, like, it was going, like, the miscarriage was happening at that time. So yeah, the doctor just told me to monitor it because they can't do a ultrasound, even like a vaginal ultrasound. They can't do that because right now baby's too small to be. So yeah, I went home, and sure enough, sorry, this is a little TMI, so you can skip to, like, I'll put a number on the screen where I stop talking about it, but basically, when it's your time of the month and it gets like clotty, yeah, I basically had that all day, the rest of the day. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is like not, like this is happening. And honestly, I felt like shit. I thought I maybe did something wrong. So I just want to let you know, if you go through something like this, nothing is your fault. Like, I was taking my prenatals as soon as I found out. I was doing everything I should be doing. I stopped drinking coffee. Like, right when I found out I was pregnant, I stopped drinking coffee. Like, I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary. So it was just unfortunate that happened. Miscarriages are very, very common. It's a high percentage, but yeah, there's nothing that could have stopped it. Even if you caught like that it was happening, honestly, there's nothing doctors can do at that point. Like, if the egg doesn't stick, like, there's just like different factors, and it's nothing to do with your body, nothing to do with you. It just sometimes happens. I was just thinking to myself, hey, everything happens for a reason. There might be a reason why it's not sticking, and honestly, it kind of put me at ease a little bit, because obviously my mom's not here. You guys know that story with the aneurysm story. I just thought of it to myself like, hey, you know what? Technically, this is the first grandbaby, and now he or she is with my mom, and my mom is taking care of the first child. Like, that's how I think of it, and I put And it honestly put me at so much ease to think of it like that. Baby was as big as a poppy seed at that time. So I call my first pregnancy Baby Poppy just because of that. Obviously, I felt regret telling people that I was pregnant because I did tell a couple of people. And again, it was because of excitement. You know, it's like, hey, never mind. I'm not anymore. Like, that's just like what was a downer. So yeah, it was just really hard, especially for the next couple months. My cycle was kind of off. And it's hard too because at that time, we were married for like a year and a half and people were asking us like, when are you guys gonna get pregnant? When are you guys gonna get pregnant? And honestly, after the whole miscarriage happened, we were still getting questions about like, when are you guys gonna get pregnant? And honestly, Mitch ended up just saying like, hey, she had a miscarriage, like stop asking. And they were like, oh, okay. And then they never asked again. You know, I was just focusing like on my mental health at that time, just getting back to a routine, getting myself distracted with other things. Like that honestly was the hard part about it, was just dealing with the aftermath of it. You might ask me like, oh, did you feel awkward at work? Not at all. My boss is super understanding. My manager's super understanding. They were really sad for me. They were like, hey, like take the rest of the week off. And that was like so nice to hear like that, to have a supportive manager. So thinking back, I get like a little emotional thinking about it, but I'm not as sad anymore. Well, I'm pregnant now, but like, you know, it's very traumatic for anyone to go through. So what I recommend is definitely talk to someone. Don't keep it in. What's really surprising is when I went through the miscarriage and like some people that knew I was pregnant found out, or people found out about the miscarriage later, they told me they had one. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, it's just like, oh, no one talks about that, you know? Like, I think because like, obviously it's something very traumatic, very sad. No one really wants to talk about it. So what I do recommend though is like have people like your inner circle that you trust to talk about it, because that made me feel so much better just to talk about it. It put me at so much ease just like hearing like, there have been many women that went through it. Even the nurse that checked me into the hospital told me that she went through one or two or something. Like it was just, it puts you at ease to know that you're not alone in this, and there are many that happen. So if you're currently pregnant or you had a miscarriage in the past, like what I had, and are currently pregnant, some things that put me at ease, especially in the first trimester. I have a tip for you. So one of them is using this website called Data Eyes. I'll put it in the comments or in the description below. So basically what it is, it's a miscarriage odds reassurer. So basically you put like how many weeks and how many days you are, and what it does, it's kind of like a little thing that says like, oh, here's your probability of not having a miscarriage, and it will say like reassure me more, and then it has like more stats about it. And honestly, the percentage gets higher and higher as the weeks go on, because obviously as the further you get along, it's less likely you're gonna miscarry. And honestly, when I was in my first trimester with this pregnancy, if I had any spotting, I would freak out, panic. The worst thing you can do, honestly, is stress about it. So you just have to breathe, like breathe. And then I went to this data website and I typed it in, and I was like, at the time, like 93%, 95%. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm getting there. And that put me at so much ease as well. Again, like I talked to my inner circle and let them, like, I had my doctor. If you have any spotting, I also went to my family doctor to let them know about the spotting. And we would always monitor that. That's my little story about actually my first pregnancy. I hope that sharing this would put you more at ease in order to talk to other people, to talk to your doctor. These are things that I think women should talk about more. You go through so much when you're pregnant. I'm in my second trimester now. I already went through so much in my first trimester. I have a video about that and all the symptoms I went through. You go through a lot mentally, physically, emotionally, and there is so much support these days from your doctor, from your family, from your friends. So I hope that you utilize all the resources that you have. And yeah, I hope this video has helped you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below as I post every single Friday. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Bye.